Hi guys, it's Erica, and today I just took apart my pocket wide Lush Foxy Fix Ballerina slipper to show you how to install rings into your Foxy Fix Traveler's Notebook. And I had it all set up. It's kind of a hot mess, but I'll show you how I have mine set up, and I'll also show you how to install rings into your planner if you want to convert it. So, first of all, this is a passport size. A lot of people ask me, why didn't you buy the pocket size? Because quite frankly, pocket-sized rings are not the same size as pocket-sized traveler's notebooks. Pocket-sized traveler's notebooks fit field notes, which is 3.5 by 5.5 inches, while pocket rings are 3.25 by 4.75 inches. So their inserts are actually smaller, and passport inserts, passport TN inserts, are 3.5 by 4.9. So let's do like a quick comparison. So this is a passport insert. This is one I made for myself and my husband. And this is like a pocket. So this is pocket ring sized, and you can see it's actually smaller than a passport TN. So if I were to do a number 2, this pocket would be like much bigger, and so there'd be tons of overhang. So I ended up going with a passport size TN instead, and that's what a lot of people who like to convert, if you want pocket rings in a traveler's notebook, a passport size is definitely a good size to go. So for this, these are actually pocket rings that I bought from an Etsy shop. I will link them down below. They're based in China. These rings in particular are A7 15mm black. They did come with like the rivets, but I'm not going to use them because I am not going to permanently install them into the leather. I just use the elastics to do that. Also, if you're wondering why my external elastic is missing, it's because it is way too tight. The elastic that they provided me was ruining the edges of my leather and ripping the hole where it inserts, so they're actually going to send me a restrap kit. So let's move on to installation. So I'll do this first so I can show you how it works. First thing you want to do is open your rings, and then you're going to take your 2 innermost elastics and you're going to put them inside the ring mechanism like so. I'm going to go ahead and close this, and then I'm going to adjust it so it is centered to the elastics. So I'm just pulling the elastics around so that the rings are centered, just like so. Then I'm going to take the next 2 innermost rings that are elastics that are not used. So I'm going to leave the outer ones alone. I'm going to take the 2 left, pull one across the other with the rings closed to strap it, and then the other one across the other way. So I pulled the right over to the left and the left over to the right, and they should crisscross like so. So that is it. You are now installed. You can open up your rings and you can put in all your inserts, and that's really all you have to do. And then you also have these extras. You can either you can either choose to use them or just leave them loose. The reason why I got a wide is because you get the extra 1 centimeter of leather material. So like this width has 1 extra centimeter than a compact, which accounts for the rings, so that allows you to install the rings and so your inserts don't stick out. If you don't get the wide, you might have potential that when you close your notebook, your inserts might stick out because there's not enough space for the ring mechanism. So I just highly recommend a wide. Now, as for how I actually install my rings versus how you should properly install your rings, this is the way to properly install your rings if you really want to have a really sturdy ring mechanism. But as you can see, not only was the external elastic too tight, but these are actually a little tight too. So I may restrap these, but in the meantime, until I get my restrap kit, I've actually only been using 2 elastics. And the reason being is that when you only use 2, you're not putting as much tension on all of the elastics, since this is technically 1 large elastic looped through the leathers. So by only using 2, I'm not putting as much strain on the leather. It doesn't bow as much. As you guys saw earlier, it was bowing a lot, and even now empty, it's bowing a lot. So for now, I've only been doing the closed rings and just doing the outer loop like so. So the left over the right and the right over the left, and not doing the internal loops through the inside, because what I can do is I can kind of shimmy the inserts in the leather so that there's not as much tension as there was before. If I used all four, then there's going to be a lot more tension and it's just not going to fit as well. So doing it this way, it doesn't mess up my leather as much. So if you have a single, I've seen people do this with singles as well. It doesn't work so well with the Passport, but if you have a pocket single, you can do that with the pocket rings, or if a B6 single, you can do it with your personal rings. I did try this for an A6, but I'll be honest, unless you use pocket rings in an A6, your A6 inserts will stick out. But if you use A6 TN with pocket rings like this, they won't stick out. And that's because of the ring diameter. Really, the ring diameter is going to determine how much your inserts stick out when it's closed. So if you have really big rings, your inserts could stick out. So the smaller the rings, the safer your bet. You could always get a wide or just do a different size, just some extra info. So anyway, I already do have my pocket insert, so I do like to do the rings first before I put in my traveler's notebook. So I'll show you what I have going on. So the first thing I have is actually this Filofax clear dashboard. I like to put this in the front to protect my acetate. So I do have some, not acetate, vellum. So I do have vellum. This is Princessa Plans Digital that I printed on some vellum, cut out and hole punched. That's in the front. And then this is cardstock from Michaels, I believe, and I just cut it down to size, and I used 2 different sheets, and I just glued them together and then laminated them together. And originally these were punched with the A6 holes by accident because I forgot to adjust it, and then I readjusted it and then punched them again. And then this is actually a Fox and Pip die cut that I just used removable adhesive roller by Tombow on here. Then these are a few extra inserts that I had from my Filofax originally that I had written on, that I'm just keeping a few lists. Then these are Annie Plans half lists, half dotted grid pages that I just put little lists on. And I also, I put slits in the holes, so when it's closed, all I have to do is just kind of like push them in. I don't actually have to open the rings, because since the rings are so full, it's actually really hard to open the rings because I have this full to the max. So these are Annie Plans, and I made this Gabby tabbed bookmark myself, and then I used a Fox and Pip sticker on here, and this just marks Gabby's words. So we've been tracking like what words she says and how many. She's actually up to 45 words. I need to add 2 more words down here. So that's just a list of all the words that my daughter is saying now. She is 21 months old. So this is also an Annie Plans list insert. Then this is actually a passport-sized dashboard, TN dashboard, just like this guy. It's a Foxy Pix dashboard that I actually cut in half, and then I hole punched it so it would fit into my pocket rings. And then I just have some cardstock from Michaels in here. And then this is a sparkly paper code die cut, and this is a Fox and Pip die cut. Then I also have the Annie Plans Fox and Pip collab inserts. These are not easy width, but these are what I call my daily dump. This is where I do all of my daily stuff. Like I write down everything that goes on during the day in here. And then this is a bookmark that I made myself with a Princessa Plans bow. And then these were cardstock from Michaels, This is actually the bow twice, and I just laminated them together and then fussy cut it out with some scissors. So this is like where I put what today is. So this is actually March the 7th. And then I do have a today tab, but I prefer this over my little tab. So that's the rest of the inserts. They just look like this. They have a Fox and Pip bow and then 2 columns. Then I'm gonna do the back section backwards because it's getting kind of fat. I can't put any more on this side and be able to close it. So the back dashboard is, again, cardstock from Michaels. Then I have a laminated picture of my husband and my daughter, taped on with washi tape, so that's the back. Then this is actually an A6 dot grid insert that I cut down to be pocket size because I couldn't find anybody who sold printable dot grid for pocket, so I just bought the A6 and cut it down to size, which is why like the edges are cut off and the hole punch is in the circle, because they were actually A6 size that I chopped down. So these are just blank right now that I'm gonna use for lists. And then this is a bookmark I made using digital die cut from Create with Pen and digital papers from Create with Pen. And I just laminated it and made it a loose dashboard or bookmark. Then I did another Michaels cardstock, laminated. And then this is a die cut digital, and I can't remember the shop name, but if I remember, I'll list it down below. And then this pen loop is from Peony's Papery. Then more acetate that I printed from Princessa Plans. And then this are my appointment inserts from Annie Plans Printables. I'm not gonna show you my inserts, but that's what the blanks look like. And then this is the other half of the Foxy Fix dashboard. Like I said, I took a dashboard like this guy and I literally just cut it in half, hole punched it, and turned them into ring dashboards. Again, this is cardstock from Michaels, and then the Sparkly Paper Co., and no white space stickers. So that is it for my rings. That's what I have set up for my rings, and as you can see from the top, it is completely full, totally full. Okay, how to swap out batteries. Okay, as for the first and last elastics, I do have Traveler's Notebook inserts that I've been using. For these, oopsies, I pulled this elastic way too much, and now it's like uneven. Okay, I think that's a little better, because you can tug on these and adjust them like that. So I'm just kind of adjusting. Okay, so for the front, I have a Foxy Fix dashboard. This again is cardstock from Michaels. This red cardstock is actually also cardstock from Michaels. Then I have a picture of my daughter in the front and a picture of my daughter in the back. There's actually a pineapple onesie. It is the cutest thing in the world. And then this is a digital die cut from Fox and Pip. And again, a laminated picture of myself and my husband. And then this is actually an insert that I made. I'm not currently selling it, but I was trying to make an insert for my husband that he can use. So he actually has his own. But I wanted to make a monthly calendar with font that was not swirly or script or feminine. I needed something a little bit more unisex, and so I used this like more bold fat font to make this insert, and it's a passport sized, and it's got, you know, the full month and then a little note side. So this goes into my first strap in the front, so that's like a quick reference. And then on the back side, I actually have 3 inserts. These are Annie Plans, so I have passwords, which I'm not going to show you my passwords. So that's the first one, and it's actually on a jump band with a back one, which is the address book, which I have not filled out yet, but this is also Annie Plan Printables. And then I have another Foxy Fix dashboard with the red Michaels cardstock, and this has the other Fox and Pip Annie Plans collab insert, where it has the today and then the grid. So then that is actually going to go in between these two. And so I actually have 3 notebooks in the back. So that is how that works. So I put essentially 1 notebook in the back, and then I used a jump band to connect the front and back. And then this pink paper is just cardstock from Michaels. I really like Michaels cardstock. And then as you can see, when you close it, it doesn't stick out. It's like right on the edge. So if I put bigger rings in this, these could potentially stick out. And if I had tabs on the side, they would definitely stick out. So I am gonna make tabs, but they'll be top tabs. All the tabs will go up the top. And then in the front, what I had before was this little doily that I had, and then more pink cardstock from Michaels. And I just put this in here to add stability to the doily because the doily was like ripping. So I put cardstock with it so it doesn't rip. Then I also have this monthly March calendar. This is from Princessa Plans Digital. Also, I do have a coupon code for her shop. It's Erica20 for 20% off. Then I have another Fox and Pip die cut, which I laminated, and this is the Disney planner. Then I have my Sparkly Paper Co. unicorn die cut, which I also laminated. And this was a cardstock that my sweet friend Amy Lynn from Sweet Ava's Paper sent me in an order, and I actually use it in the back kind of as a stabilizer because the Lush leather is kind of floppy. So I like to add extra stuff. And then in the back pocket, I do like to keep stickers. So I do have an appointment card that I was storing. Actually, I had that stored in the back pocket. But I have some of these were Fox and Pip digitals that I turned into stickers. And then I have my month printables stickers. So that was actually what I had in the front section. And in the back, I just have a bunch of samplers. We have Pookie Bear Cuties, 2 Sweet Ava's papers, Sparkly Paper Co., Fox and Pip, No White Space stickers, Chic Street Boutique, Sticker Sensations, L Plan. These are all PBC samplers, by the way. Miss Moss, more No White Space stickers, Planner Frenzy, Sweet Ava's Paper again, Sparkly Paper Co. again, another bookmark, and then more months in a smaller size. And I just keep these in the back, and that adds more stability. And then I also have an extra month tab that I was keeping back here in case I wanted to mark the month. And then I also had this paper clip that I just keep an extra paper clip back here in case I need it for something, then I can just pull it out and use it. So that is it. I know that was a hot mess. I've never done a TN setup like this before. I have one video, but it was already set up and I was just kind of flipping through things. So this was definitely different and new for me. So I'm sorry if it was very rambly, but maybe when I do my next one, when I get my B6, I won't be so crazy. But at least like you guys can see how it works. So like a full flip is my front, my TN monthly, then my rings with my lists, my 2 sets of lists, then a dashboard, then my daily dump, as I call it my daily dump, then another dashboard, then my appointments, then acetate, another dashboard, my bookmark, then grid paper, and then my back of my pockets, my pocket rings. Then, like I said, I've got Annie Plans passwords, Annie Plans Fox and Pip, and then Annie Plans address book. So that is what I have going on. And then of course the back, oh no, I bent my cardstock. So then that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this flip. Let me know if you have any comments or questions. Like I said, I am going to restring this once the restrap comes in. Right now it is pretty chunky, it is very fat, but I really, really like it. And honestly, it is very functional. I actually didn't like TNs because I found that whenever I try to open the inserts, like they would all just like flail, which they still kind of do, which is why the inserts I put on here are inserts that I don't use daily. And the inserts that I do use daily, I use on my rings because I feel like rings lay so much flatter. Like no matter what section you are in the rings, it lays flat. It lays flat in the front, it lays flat in the middle, it lays flat in the back. So for me, a planner piece is rings, but I really, really love the TN Foxy fixes, which is why I did everything in my power to test out Pocket, Passport, A6, and I'm about to test out B6 for rings because I love Foxy Fix, but I don't like their ring mechanisms because they're just way too big for me. The 30 millimeters is just so, it's just too big for me. It's just too big for me. But putting rings into a wide TN is like life. This literally goes with me everywhere. I love this thing so much. Oh, also I have white stitching and a gold Fox and Pip bow on the front and nothing on the spine. And my elastics are white. So anyway, that is it. Sorry for rambling. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know down below and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.